What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is a Den Media Group presents Doak Boyz. Doak Boyz chop it up. This is something that me and my former teammate, well, currently deceased, unfortunately, Gino Hayes, we used to do this all the time. We had a pod where we would just go and talk about the state of Florida State years ago, man. It was such a good thing. Could not do it after he passed, didn't know how to do it. I thought about this idea last year. We were going to put out more content on the channel. Well, now I figured out a better way to do it. We're going to start off 2024 with just an interview series. And I'm just going to talk to former Noles and just have a candid conversation. And so you guys can hear how we discuss and how we talk about things. Right now, our special guest, he's trying to get loaded up, as he just told me. He's it says he's trying to connect connect on it right now. But again, just an interior conversation with just guys catching up, man. And I think that's something that the fan base don't know. I'm learning a lot of y'all don't know shit about Florida State football, and y'all don't really understand the past. So I got to let you guys understand this as a guy like myself who was a fan first, a player second, and then I covered them right now. Before we get into this, I don't know who the hell this is, but I want to thank them, Maggie, for becoming a member on the YouTube. I don't know if you're a double member or how it worked, but shout out to you for doing that. And then we got my guy Luke comes up. JC, let me first appear in this bitch. Respect, only promise. Hey, man, come on in here. And without further ado, I'm going to let you guys know, I'm going to give this guy a preview because I'm going to let him, he's backstage, and I'm going to say some stuff that he probably didn't necessarily know. He hasn't heard this. He probably doesn't know this in our 20-plus year relationship. But most of us did not like this guy in the beginning, and it had nothing to do with him. It was way before social media. We didn't know about this social media shit. Like, we couldn't become friends and hang out and have I met this motherfucker through ESPN. I was watching NFL films or some shit like that in class. And I'm like, who is this motherfucker right here that thinks he's so good that he can interrupt ESPN to sign? And then I was like, some Cali dude, man. But it ended up coming out to be like we were in the same seg, ended up being one of the people that I had the most fun with. We're going to share some stories. We're going to talk about some stuff. If you guys have some questions, if you're, this is whites questions don't matter here. The color section matters. So if you're colored, you know what that means. You're a greenie. You can ask a question. If you have that white, you better bring something up here. So I'm gonna bring my guy. Oh, he done went black on us. Got Lorenzo Booker here. Lorenzo Booker was, I believe, the #1 prospect in the nation in class of 2002. When he came out of St. Bonaventure's in Cali, doing his thing. So can you hear me, Book? You gotta remember, we're old now too, so our technology shit isn't as up to date. Y'all know how I am with that stuff too. Can you hear us, Book? All right, we had to reset that. We'll get him going up back. But Book was cold, man. He was that guy. But we'll do this stuff. And again, for those who don't know, we're trying to get to 5,000 subs. It's we're not 905 away. We are actually closer to that. We're in the 8s now. We're 897 away from that. Let's get Book back up on here on stage. What's going on, bro?
Hey, so you know what's funny? But when we first had the conversation a few days ago, I was thinking, what's gonna be the energy in there? You go have a suit and tie on and a collared shirt, but as soon as I logged in and I see you talking that shit, I said, oh, okay, it's one of those. Okay.
Oh, nah. It's as my people talk about, it's 3 different types of There's James Coleman when I do my NFL coverage. I can't cuss. I gotta enunciate my words and shit. Then there's like if I got to do like Mark Rogers or some with white people, I got to talk a little. I could be a little bit more in college, but then when it's my stuff and I'm on my BS, man, fuck all that, man.
Hey, I heard that. I heard that. Hey, you want to know what's funny though, man? I'm glad you brought that up because cats. I see cats. A lot of cats from California. They'll be like, don't go away from home. Don't leave home, or they're gonna hate on you somewhere else and whatnot. And I'm like, man, naturally when Doc, when I first got there, bro, Doc said the first thing Doc told me was, man, that cutback shit don't work here. Like that was my introduction. And so I always try to like tell cats, look, I don't care how high you rank. When you get there, you ain't shit. And but that's how it's supposed to be, JC. Like, what does it mean that you did something in high school? What does that mean? Like, we go to Florida State for that reason, to get told we ain't shit so we can prove ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like
everybody was a fucking All-American. Like I was just like,
but that was the beautiful thing, though. And I feel like it we go there for a reason. I feel like if you're real about yourself, that's why you go there. You go there to get hazed. You go there to shave your head. I don't know if you remember, I tried to grow my shit out and act like I wasn't a bald guy. So I went ahead and cut it like it was bothering me. But niggas, it was some of y'all shit was multicolored. Cause y'all got hair. See, you some of y'all had hair, but nobody got done worse than old Hollywood.
Oh, so okay, so again,
Hollywood.
Jerry Curl. Again, I try to tell these guys, when they tell me about guys hitting the transfer portal, oh, that's some new. I said, nah, bro. I said, the first thing I ever remember was Jerry Curl hitting Billy telling him, hey, man, you need to gain like 20, 30 pounds because your ass going to be a fullback. Jerry was gone the next day.
Man, out of there. So it was for the bowl game, remember? Because it was for the Sugar Bowl. And they start trying to put him in that 3-point stand. He said, nah, bro, nah. I'm out of there. He said, I'm too cute for that, man. I'm too cute for that.
That motherfucker was like LL Cool J from Any Given Sunday, man. Like he had the hair process. Like, hey, so freshman two, that you and Cam had came in early, so y'all was straight, dog. They got us right after 110s, dog. I remember to this day because I was fucking terrified, man. Like I came in that bitch, was sitting down, and Ty was like, "Hey, listen, use freshmen, better handle them hairs. Y'all got one more day, but y'all gonna get them hair." And Jigga came in, OJ, nah, man, fuck that.
Yep.
I had dreads all the way down to my ass, and they shaved my head. Them motherfucking freshmen getting their heads shaved tonight, starting with Jerry Curl.
Oh.
And guys, Thomas Clayton was roommates with Daryl Burston.
Yeah.
And Daryl outed him because we thought his hair was he tried to make it seem like he had the naturally curly hair, like he wasn't using products.
Yeah.
But Burst was like, man, he got that just for me.
Hey, the thing about Tom that I love about him though is, now motherfuckers is wearing tight shit. It's back. What I mean? It's back. Tom was wearing tight shit when that shit wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying?
No. You remember what you called him? You said you over there with them come fuck me jeans.
You used to say them CFMs. Them CFMs. But Cats is missing that now, man. Like Cats is missing that now. And I raised my son that way, bro. We talk trash all day. I mean, and bro, you came in like, bro, it was you, Torrance. And Torrance, remember, was eating, before Torrance he hurt himself. And then BJ was it like, bro, you came in like, bro, like, look, I gotta go for mine. And straight took it though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't go to San Jose State. Respect to San Jose State. You didn't go to Oregon State. Respect. You came to Florida State. You know what I'm saying? And what, like, bruh. Like, I mean, I use you as an example all the time for cats that's feeling some type of way about competing or feel like they deserve some shit. You know them guys, Jason.
Yeah.
They deserve some shit because they got X amount of stars. I said, man, look, a star ain't got shit to do with nothing when your ass get on that campus. Leon, Tom got as many reps as I did. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, and we all knew, like, when we were sitting in the pool at the Bird, it was like, look, everybody is not gonna keep playing tailback. Willie end up playing receiver. Tom end up leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like you end up being the starter over, Torrance ended up hurting his knee, but you and BJ went back, but even still, you ended up taking the spot. So it's like, I'm always telling Cass, listen, if you can play, coach's job is to win. You know what I'm saying? They're going to play who they believe in the most. So make yourself that guy. You know what I mean? But shout out to you, because you did it the hard way, like all the way. You know what I mean? Them big ass walk on jerseys they used to give y'all, man.
Oh man, this shit's terrible, dog. Them big ass numbers, dog. Century clubs on them numbers, dog. But nah, man. So we'll get back into some of them stories. As I told a lot of people, like, you're gonna hear these things, but man, walk us through high school coming out of Cali. Like, what was like? Your cuz sent me this video of you and Whitney with some FSU clips like weaved into it, man. But like, what was it like coming up in Cali, in Southern Cal, playing high school ball and being a phenom?
You know, it was funny because I wasn't supposed to end up at St. Bonaventure. I'm from Port Hueneme, and that's like 20 minutes, 25 minutes from Ventura, which is where St. Bonaventure is. So no one knew where St. Bonaventure was. I was supposed to go to Hueneme High School, but my cousin Curtis, you remember Curtis, he was like my mentor. He's, kind of like my father figure. So I stayed with him half the time because my mom at the time was working hospice, so she worked nights. Well, somebody got to make sure I'm doing my job. You know what I'm saying? So I was with him half the time. He lived around the corner from the school, but Hueneme was so mad, they literally sat outside my house, bro, for weeks. My mom's house. Long story short, I ended up having to leave. Curtis knew the offensive coordinator there, Tim Gutierrez. I ended up at St. Bonnie, and they had these big ass linemen. They had everything but, like real ballers, but they had the structure, but they didn't have like that elite kind of player. So when you plug in a guy like me and you plug in Whitney and Terrell, and then the rest is history. But it was I would have to say DJ Williams was number one in the nation. And I'm like, how the hell are you number one in the nation? That's like crazy. I'm looking at the Cal High Sports magazine. Justin Fargas was like, the all world, the dude, and it's like you said, this is before the internet. So you're not really hearing about guys in other states too much, unless they just doing crazy stuff, and so St. Bonnie was very sheltered. So even though we were doing crazy stuff, we didn't really understand the magnitude of it, and in a way, I'm kind of glad, because it just kept cats focused, and we was just eating. And to be honest, once it all hit the fan and I had to make a decision, it was stressful as heck because I was still this 17-year-old kid and I was still very sheltered. You know what I mean? So it all came so fast. I wasn't really ready for it like that, but it was a fantastic time to just be playing with your boys and you winning, and you know what I mean? Like, and again, the structure allowed it to where it stayed pure. I'm very thankful for what Coach Mack and Brother Paul and everybody was able to provide, as far as that structure is concerned.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing, because most of us during that time, I think people don't realize like how much like high school's changed since even back then. Like, we didn't have a huddle. I didn't even know how to watch film until I got to college. And, talking about like a lot of the stuff with me, like the only reason I wanted to make varsity in high school was because them cats ate steaks on Friday. I didn't eat steak. So like when I was like, yo, they was like, yeah, you just got to hit people and then you get a steak and a potato and a sweet tea. I'm like, well shit, I do that all day. Like that's
just like that.
Yeah, but now I got kids. I'm giving them a whole game plan. I'm telling them what you're supposed to do. Like, it wasn't like that. You just went out there and you was just an athlete, and so you had that. You talk about being sheltered and not knowing. Well, now before we get to that, so talk about the day that you signed, that you interrupted TV to sign, because you had a couple, you had some major programs, and I want you to talk about this. I want you to talk about Notre Dame for a second, because if I remember, we had a convo, but you had some really good things to say about Whittingham at the time. But like, talk about that day, what it led up to it, and and everybody's got Bobby comes to the hood moments. Like, did you have that? Did you have that moment, and what was that like?
Absolutely. I mean, it was. Coach Bowden coming. I mean, it's Coach B, but Coach B is obviously Coach B in Florida, but this is California, so cats is just going off of campfire stories when you hear about Bobby Bowden. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to have him come to California, and not he came to Port Hueneme. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, it's like legendary around here, like that Bobby Bowden came to Port Hueneme. You know, and so he sat on that same couch that I used, bro. I watched that Sugar Bowl over and over, bro. I had cats. You know, everybody got them little haters you grow up with. And I remember my freshman year, I was like, I'm going to Florida State. And one cat, he laughed. You know what I mean? So when I got my first handwritten letter from Florida State, I stuck that shit in his doorknob. You know, I'm a sarcastic motherfucker. You know, I don't forget nothing, JC. Stuck that shit right in his doorknob. And then he tried to flip it later, like, nah, I was just trying to motivate you. Shut up, fat boy. You know, but so you know, it was cool. You know, it was like, I still to this day like trip out on it to a certain degree, but you know, he came down, but I never forget what I love the most about Florida State is they didn't jock me crazy. You know, they wasn't promising me nothing. You know, they just was like, hey, we really want you and we think you could come and help us. And I like that. You know what I mean? Like, I like that. I didn't because I felt like, well, if you saying that to me when I'm there, you're gonna be saying it to somebody else. And you know what I mean? I liked feeling like, you know, hey, look, first of all, it's Florida State. So I'm like, just the fact that you here, you basically telling me I could be, you feel like I'm one of those type of players. So that is the compliment in itself. But you know, so I'll never forget that. But I'll never forget Bobby was like, Coach B said on his way out of my house, he said, whatever you decide, don't look back. And I love that confidence in him. I love the confidence of we want you, but hey, I get it, and we're gonna be all right without you. I love that. You know what I mean? Like, I respected it so much, and I just felt like, all right, that's like a, you know, and he was that when I played for him. And you know, bro, we didn't have to make an appointment to go see Coach B. Like, I know cats that played for Paterno. You had to make an appointment. I know cats that had to make an appointment to see coaches that don't got a quarter of Coach B's resume. And so his humility that people see on TV when he come to your house and when he coaching you, it was the same thing. And I love that. But Willingham was dope. I had never, well, I actually did. I played for one black coach in my life. His name was Pernell Winbush, rest in peace. And I loved, he was the one playing for Pernell, really got like my swag out. You know what I mean? He let me be me, so to speak. And so I felt like Notre Dame looked like what St. Bonaventure looked like before I went there, but the potential, but it looked like that on steroids and HGH. You know what I mean? Like, Willingham was coming from Stanford. It was Notre Dame. They on national TV every week. And I'm thinking, well, I go there and ball. They're going to blow it up even crazier because it's Notre Dame. And I was going to Notre Dame the night before the game. I mean, the night before I signed, I was going to Notre Dame. Like, that, it was done, you know, but my heart wasn't there. It was my mind making the business decision, but my heart was always garnering gold. It was just, I never left the state of California in my life until I went on my recruiting trip to Florida State. So, you know, and I'm a mama's boy, so I'm like, man, ain't no FaceTime, JC. You know what I mean? I had a calling card when I got there, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so I'm thinking, man, like, I'm not going to be able to see my mom and all of that. So I'm stressed out. I wake up, but I get, speaking of Marty B, Chop City, what's up, baby? That's family. So I get a late package that night, and it's that highlight tape, Peter Ward's highlight tape. You know what I mean? And how does UPS run at 7:30 at night out here? That doesn't happen. I get it. I'm watching it, and I go to bed. I wake up the next morning, and I'm telling my mom on the way to school, Mom, I don't think I'm gonna do this. I don't know where I want to go. And my mom is like, come on, man. Like I'm tired of dealing. You know, she's like, come on. Like, we supposed to get on ESPN. And so I get to the hotel, I get swarmed. But the thing about it is, what people don't realize is I'm Curtis almost sent ESPN away because he was like, this dude really don't know what he's gonna do, and I'm not gonna make him do it. So,
hey man, Curtis was low key. Curtis was that guy, man.
Yeah,
Curtis was like that in Tallahassee too, man. He was
and man, I'm telling you, you know what I mean? Like, he just, I mean, he was like, look, we'll send these people away. So Tim Brown, I get a call, and it's Tim Brown. Tim Brown is like, hey man, like, I just want you to know, like, you should go to Notre Dame. You could be like me. We'll you know, boom. 5 minutes later, Jerome Bettis. Hey man, you should go to Notre Dame. And we love to have you there. Like, this is all happening within an hour, bro. And I don't know what I'm gonna do. So, but I'm still not really. So I go outside with my dad. Me and my dad have a moment. But John Lilly calls. Coach Lilly, you know what I'm saying? And I said, hey, coach, look, I know I'm about to decide right now, but this is my only issue. And I basically was looking for him to give me exactly what he gave me, which is reassurance that my mama and my family is going to do whatever they got to do. And I said, I want to go there, but this is what I'm worried about. And he said, man, if I know your mama the way I think I do, she going to find a way. That's all I needed to hear. You know what I'm saying? That's all I needed to hear. That's why when I said I got to go to Florida State, it was like I was talking to myself. You know what I mean? Because I was like, yo, I got to do this. Like, this is like who I am. You know what I mean? Like, I got to go there. I got to go for mine, whatever this is. And, you know what I mean? So it's the best decision I ever made. Like I said, I've given away all my NFL helmets to people that's sick or whatever. But this one helmet ain't going nowhere, Jack. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going nowhere.
It was funny. I just saw Lilly Sunday. You know, I covered the Jags. We played the Panthers.
Okay.
And so Lilly, I wasn't going to the game because I've been off New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve. Yeah. And he texted me. And I was telling people, like, some of these cats don't understand. Some of these coaches, the relationship's so strong. I ain't talked to Lilly in years. Yeah. Lilly said, hey, man, I got your number. Hoping to catch eyes on you. I'm like, all right, man. I told people, I was like, man, I got up, washed my ass, went up to the stadium, and then just like went to go see him, man. But Lilly was a dope cat. Funny thing though, and I wish I wouldn't show the video. I would show you the video, but I wouldn't show it on this. So you remember T.O., right?
Yeah.
Now again, God rest the dead. T.O., I don't know who has it now. I think his parents have it, but they're not going to release it. There's a video of you on your recruiting visit talking about how much you love the women at Florida State.
Bruh, listen, man. Listen. All right, so me and Leon was out when we won the national, right? Man, and you know, we had a couple. You know, and I regretted it, and I'm saying regretted what I didn't know I was talking to TMZ. Leon had to come get me. I don't regret it, but I regret it because people might take it out of context as though I'm being disrespectful to Florida State. And all I'm saying is while Florida State has this, and this, Rhodes Scholars like Myron Rolle and all of these things, don't get it twisted. This is a top-notch university, you know? But there's nothing wrong with saying that it's really, really colorful too. Oh, yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like we can't, you know, like that actually does matter, you know. Hey man, I got a son out of that deal, man. You know what I'm saying?
I'm from Tallahassee. And I tell people when I went on campus, I had a high school sweetheart. I feel bad because she didn't stand a chance when I got on campus. It's like
bro,
I'm in a black.
I tell these kids right now, bro. Thank you. I tell these kids right now, man, look. You wasting your time falling in love in high school. You talking to a cat who was in love in high school, JC. Like, come on, man. Like, you guys gonna hit this college campus, it's gonna be over with. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, they don't get it. I tell my son like, all the time, and his boy.
We'll get into whatever you want to get into, but the Garden of Gold guys, you got all kinds of shit, man. It was like set up, man, like for you to be able, like. If you was good, you straight. We got some ugly ass teammates that had some badass chicks, dog.
Yeah, so, man.
You know, it was but nah, that's cool, man. Like, you know, coming out of high school. So what was it like? Because you didn't go to Miami. You didn't go to like New York. You went from Southern California to Tallahassee, Florida. Like that had to be a culture shock.
Oh, like bro. Man. So here's the thing. So, you know, when you thinking about Florida, naturally, if you've never been there, you think about Miami. You know what I mean? Just like when you think about California, you're not thinking about Modesto, you think about LA. You know what I'm saying? So we get so when I came in on first of all, I came in on my recruiting trip in November, bro. So the weather was just like here around that time, you know, 65, you know, wasn't no humidity. When I reported early, like you said with Cam, bro, it was overcast and it was so humid. I was like, what? You know what I mean? And it was trees everywhere. You know, and I tell people all the time, Tallahassee is like South Georgia. I mean, basically, we in Thomasville in 15, 20 minutes. You know what I mean? So I'm like, it's not Miami, you know, but it was definitely culture shock from a standpoint of the weather. And I tell people all the time, that sun, it felt like a Charlie Brown cartoon, bro. It was just follow me everywhere. It didn't matter. It don't, and I'm like, you can't prepare for it. There's nothing you can do for that. You know what I mean? You just got to get out there and get used to it. It took me 2 years to like fully get used to it. Like our junior year, bro, I would say I was like, okay, I'm 100%, like I'm cool. You know, the heat can't surprise me. But what I loved about the culture though too was like if I hear any accent now, JC, I know exactly where you from. Decatur. I know if you from South Carolina. I know if you from Winston-Salem. Like I know if you from Bama. Like, and for me, getting y'all's culture over there, because you thinking black is black, and it is, but it's not. You know what I mean? It is, but it's not. And I think for me, going there, it helped me enjoy learning the different cultures no matter where I was at. You know what I'm trying to say? Like because I miss it a lot. And my cousin Kerry Colbert, who's coaching for Denver right now, he was at Georgia State for a while. He was with Alabama for a little bit too. And we talk about it because we spent time in the South, you know. And I miss it all. And I tell people all the time, I say, look, if I wasn't living in Southern California, I'm living in Florida. Because it became home. You know what I mean? Like I don't like when I was there with my son, bro, like it felt like I needed to go to class or something. You know what I mean? Like it just like that was my home for a long time, you know, for a very big part of my life. And so that culture shock that made me so uncomfortable, and naturally, I mean, it's just something you're getting used to. I mean, that made me so uncomfortable is also the thing that once, because I was, you know, I was a open-minded kind of person and I wanted to learn about it. I wanted to kind of embrace myself in it. It's one of the things that I end up loving the most, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the soundtracks that my son listened to pregame is like T.I. and all of that. And so I love that I was down south when T.I. just dropped I'm Serious, because no one knew T.I.
Yeah.
I was there when Outkast really, really blew up. You know, I was there when Weezy blew up. So for me, just being in the South at that time was you know, T-Pain used to give shows for free. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, so it was just kind of like being there at that exact time though, JC, it was like an explosion of culture in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful that I got to be a part of it. So it was a shock, but it was that discomfort that you need to expand and to grow as a human being. You know what I'm saying? And y'all definitely, you know, between clowning me, you know, from being from California, because I'm the one with the accent out there. You know what I mean? Like, you know, remember Pat Watkins used to always call me California ass nigga. You know, but y'all my brothers, because yes, y'all clown me, and I think that's what makes it, is that, you know, while y'all clowning me, but y'all still got my back and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And so it was a beautiful thing to go out there and to learn the culture of the South, you know, not just from day to day, but football wise and all of that. And it changed me as a person for the better.
So now you have a lot of kids. Early enrolling is like not weird. Like you were like it didn't happen often when you did it. What was the thought process behind that? And then I want you to go from there, because we got a question from Andre, one of my McCulloughs. He says, you know, he wants to. I'm pretty sure you got a story about these two cats with your first experience of mat drills. And can you just explain what mat drills was like to you, and just, you know, and what was it like early enrolling?
Well, I didn't. Curtis was the one again. You know, Curtis was the one. He was just like, you need to get over there so you can start learning the offense and just being over there. You know, this is going to be the best situation for you to compete. Plus, I had to get acclimated to the weather. So I didn't really have a say. You know, I just was doing what I was told, you know. So Curtis, because he had already played college football and he had won a championship, he knew how it went. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, nah, you got to get there, you know? So I was there, bro. I had to spend my birthday out there and everything, 18th birthday out there and everything, you know, but I didn't know no better. I was just hungry. So I was like, hey, whatever. That's what I got to do. And, but, you know, mat drills was vicious, bro. Like, I remember being so nervous because Curtis had mat drills when he was at Idaho. And he was just talking about how dudes was shitting on themselves because they were so tired. You know what I'm saying? And just like, and then when we was there, bro, hearing the vets talk about it, You gonna come back at 5 in the morning or 4:30 in the morning. You gonna come, bro. Like I never been so nervous for something that wasn't a game in my life. You know what I mean? Like, and so it was just, bro. I remember one time I woke up late, bro, freshman year, and I literally, JC, I could have cried because I just knew, like, I'm gonna die today, bro. Like, I could have cried. So I literally, so I got up, bro. I ran across campus. I got there. Y'all was already stretching. And I remember Coach Lilly looked at me like this, JC. He said, as soon as I walked in, he said, and he did like the gun, like, oh, you gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the nicest way possible. Like, basically, you just killed yourself. But Mickey, I remember him telling somebody, bro. I don't remember who it was. But he was like, you ain't worth the shit. And he was just walking him down. You know, Mickey, he gonna walk. And he gonna walk kind of like George Jefferson while he talks shit to you next to you. You know, he was killing somebody. And he said, if I'd have known your daddy 20 years ago, I'd have gave him a damn condom. You ain't worth the shit. I said, damn, you didn't even want the man to be here no more just off of the fact that So, I mean, but I love Mickey. Mickey is arguably, you know, my favorite coach out, I'm talking about out of the coordinators and stuff, because Mickey was 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't care who you was. And I love that.
That motherfucker the same way, dog. I was out in spring, the first day of pads, and he came up. He's like, James, back in the day, you could tell it was inside drills because you could hear it. You can't hear shit now. He's like,
yeah, bro. Man, Odell, my favorite Odell story ain't even football related. Odell used to come out here too to recruit me, and Odell would go through these cookies my mom had, bro. He would go through them every time she had them out there. He just kept running through them, And he nodding, but he never broke stride when he was eating these cookies. You know what I'm saying? Never, bro. So, but it was one time, and this is what made my mom feel really good. The only one time he broke stride eating them cookies, bro, and she was basically talking about me being far away. This was like second or third visit. And he broke stride with that cookie mid-bite, JC. He said, hey, I'll never let your son basically go without, because she's like, well, what if he's hungry? My mom asking single mom stuff. He said, hey, I will never let your son like go without eating or something like crazy like that. He was like, man, look, like outside of football, forget this football shit. Like, like I'm a man, you know what I mean? Like, and that meant a lot to me because it's a D-line coach, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, for Odell, I think that part, for me, was like, dang, like, you could tell he meant that shit. You know what I mean? So, and there was actually, when we played our last game against, this was, because I redshirted, y'all didn't. So when I came back and we lost to Florida that last game of the year, they won the national, Odell and Mickey came to me and they apologized to me. And they said, hey, I'm sorry. And I didn't really understand, like, why they were saying that, but ultimately, they didn't need to tell me that. But I felt basically they just was saying, hey, look, we appreciate, how hard you and the seniors work. You know what I mean? And basically we in this together type shit. You know what I mean? And it made me I just had so much respect for him. I already had it. You know what I mean? But so for me, because a lot of times, bro, coaches can act like it's just you. You know what I mean? It's just players, and it's team when we win, but it's the players when you lose, and so I respected that, we wasn't having a good year, you know what I mean? But they've just like, nah, we in this together and everybody's accountable and it was dope because right after that, we came back to Cali and, I was able to really put on and we won, you know what I mean? So much love to both them coaches, man.
Actually, you know what? That's a good, we talk about seniors and one of that kind of segues us into something a little off topic. We'll go back to college stories here in a second. But for those who don't know, with Lorenzo Booker, number 28, 02 to 06, one of the more dynamic running backs that we've had in FSU history, but definitely one of the top prospects coming out in the nation. Also part of a backfield that, we all got some coffee. I think everybody got a sip in the league. That was crazy.
Definitely.
How talented that group was with Billy. But
he gonna stop. Don't worry about it. He's sleeping.
How old is this one?
This my youngest one right here. He won.
Okay.
Say, what's up, dude? What's up? What's up?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You ready for the camera, man? I know what that's like. I'm shocked my 10-year-old ain't busted into the room right now because they still out for Christmas break over here in Jacksonville. But
okay.
shit, what was it? Oh, what are your thoughts on guys opting out and just not playing in that game? It's obviously when we were playing, that wasn't really nobody really thought about that, about not playing. But what does it mean to finish that last game and try to go out just on a high note in general? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, like on one end, I understand guys is they're trying to protect their investment, so to speak. But I just feel like, like there was no way that I would have been able to. And it was a different time too. You know what I mean? Like and I think really that's kind of the biggest thing. It was just a different time. But there would have just been no way that I would have been able to be like, hey, I'm not gonna play in the game, because I knew all of y'all was gonna play, and you know what I mean? Like we was leaning on each other. You know what I'm trying to say? So, what I mean? Because you got to think, it was cats like Peter Ward coming back to school, like Warwick Dunn came back to school, Chris Winkie came back. So, I mean, look at all the cats at the U, DJ Williams, Jonathan Vilma, like them cats all came back as seniors. And so I'm just looking at it from that perspective. Like it was just a different time, like I get why they do it. You know what I mean? I do. As a competitor, I mean, you also talking to a guy, bro, who a week before I left the Florida State, I played in my county all-star game. Full the county though, not like the national,
not the state, the county.
Like only because I just wanted to shit on them cats over the hill. Like that's how, you know what I mean? That's how mad competitive, I was, and I feel like a lot of us were. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying they aren't now. It's just I just think it's a different time. You know what I mean? Like in a way, this year, part of me was like, yeah, I'm glad they doing it because they dogged us. You know what I'm saying? And by not letting us in, so I'm thinking like, yeah, the NCAA ain't gonna make no money off this game, like, But on the other end, I'm like, yeah, but we could still go try to prove a point against Georgia. It's not like they matched us up against somebody that's terrible. You know what I mean? So I mean, I understand why they did it again. I just think it's just a different time, man. It's a different time. And, like there's positives to the things that are happening now. Like, obviously I love players being able to maximize. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely love that. But it comes with this part of it too. You know what I'm saying? Where now cats is like, yeah, I got to protect my investment. You know what I mean? And so I don't know what the happy medium is with that. You know what I mean? Because now is it because it's like, as Kirby brought it up, like if you're not in the playoff, basically our bowl there's gonna be, I feel like the middle of the pack is gonna get cut out. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're good, if you're good, you playing in the Orange Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. But if it's not the playoff, you basically like, well, I'm not gonna trick it off in the last game. But if you was 5-5, then those bowl games, the guys are gonna play in those games because typically the team wasn't that good, and so they still trying to prove themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it seems as though that next tier outside of the playoff, those bowl games that are still big, like the one we played in, those are ones that are gonna struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like those are ones that are going to have the problems because those are the teams that are going to have those players that have high draft grades. You know what I mean?
Right. I made a statement the other day that the only way you can really kind of get these guys to contemplate that shit is you gotta pay them and pay them a good amount for that game.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Just for that game. And somebody was arguing. I did a breakdown. Like it used to be $15 million for the BCS games. Cut it in half and then do a distribution. That ends up being like 100,000 or something to the players. And they were like, "Well, that ain't enough to them." I said, "Bitch, have you ever seen 100,000 legally?" I was like, "That's a lot of money, dog." Like, I don't care with anybody. One game, like the likelihood of you getting hurt if you go on full speed, it's probably not gonna happen. But it could, but it's probably not gonna happen. I'll take the bread, but But yeah, it's this is
I
an
agree.
interesting thing when you talked about that, because one of the things that I kicked myself, I had just had my boy. I just had Trey, and I was in Texas at the All-American game with the Army working. And then I was going to fly. K Hall actually went with me there, and he flew out to the national championship. So my goal was to do that. His mom was just like, nah, you ain't finna leave me for like damn near a week and a half with this brand new baby. So I'm like, man, all right, we'll be back. I'm gonna come back. And then I saw like all the pictures, and you was there, Leon was like, everybody was there. And like I tell people, like, it's when you're in it, you don't realize it's not gonna be the same.
Yes.
Until, like, I haven't seen you since I left since 06.
Yeah, bro.
So like,
that's crazy, huh?
That's crazy. Like, but you sit there and when you see each other, everybody's like, man, it just feels like you started off like it was just yesterday, like college was just yesterday.
Literally.
So like,
I mean,
when
I walked out the airport, bro, I felt like that. And I hadn't been there since 07, the pro day, bro. And I walked out the airport and I was like, dang, like I'm back in Tallahassee. Like it was just normal. It was crazy.
Yeah. So going back to college, I remember I actually learned a valuable lesson of how much Billy Sexton didn't play about one thing in particular. And I tell people on the timeline, they be like, they think I'm critical. And I've heard him, I don't know if he said it to Thomas or somebody else, but he told the dude, he said, if you fumble the ball one more time, I just want you to put all your pads on, run all the way up to the top of Doak, and jump. And I said, Billy don't play fumbles. And you fumbled the ball, I believe, against Miami in that pouring down rain. Man, I don't think you saw the ball against NC State,
bro. Nah, I didn't though. And that's on top of the fact that, remember, on Mondays you used to have to go and run the stadiums, and at the top of the stadium was the picture of you and whoever else made the mistake. So every time you go up to the top of the stadium, bro, it's a picture of your ass letting the ball go. Every time you get to the top and touch, bro, it was brutal. But you know what's crazy though, is when I was getting drafted, one of the biggest things they said is he hasn't fumbled the ball and they named some kind of crazy amount of touches. But I wasn't thinking about it because all I was thinking about was, like you said, this is just, you can't fumble. Bro, it's normal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
only person I think could have fumbled and Billy wouldn't have said nothing was Big G.
Yeah.
But we seen what
it might be. Yeah, exactly. It might, it might be some problems. You know what I'm saying?
I saw G at the ACC championship. He still looked the same, dog. He still looked like a monster, man.
I heard his son is big too. You know what I mean? Like, that's nuts, man.
But Billy, I said, like, somebody was like, why you ain't never fumbled the ball? I said, man, I seen LoBook fumble the ball. He didn't get it to NC State. I said, I fumbled it. That bitch might cut me that day. Like, I might not be on the roster anymore. Hell no, I ain't fumbling the ball.
Not playing that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, at all. Like, I mean, and it's like, because it loses games, bro. Like, when you lose that ball, it loses games, man. Like, they just remember Hollywood was fumbling.
That's why he has that.
Exactly.
Again, man.
Like, they don't play that, man. Like, they don't play that. And again, if you plan on making this, your main priority and playing at the level we played in college, and then you had better take it serious. Because I tell them all the time, look, your coaches in college, they don't teach English, they don't teach history or science. They get up and they do this all day. This is how they feed their family. So if you approach it with that mindset, then you'll know they're playing the guys that's going to keep bread on their table. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you might be better, but if you're not the most consistent, then hey, it don't matter.
Billy told me straight up one time, I like you, but I love my wife. And how I provide a living for my wife is by making sure I get the most use in this room doing what I tell them to do.
Yep.
He's like, so it ain't about if I like you or not. It's about, can you do what I tell you to do? Because if not, I'm going to get fired. And I ain't trying to get fired. And he
Nah,
told me
bro.
some stuff that made me realize, and I got a chance to interview Bobby before he died like twice a year. It was really cool seeing him in a different perspective. And like Bobby told me something that if I ever get buried, I'm gonna put that shit on my tomb. He told me two things. The first thing he told me, he called me top 5 that he had coached in that fullback position. I said, I think you lying, but I'm gonna take that though. I'm gonna take it
Yep.
because there's other ones that I think are better than me, but fuck that. You said it.
Exactly. You know,
And I
you
got
take
this on
that.
video. This man said, James wasn't no sissy. He said, James would go out there and straight up hitch. I said, oh shit. Oh shit. Bobby said,
Yeah.
but Bobby would cuss not cuss. He would fuss the coaches out over stuff that we did. And I think I was messing up my freshman year or something. And Billy just said, hey man, can you just please just pinch the bitch or something, dog? Because he said, because the old man is just really laying into me. Like, why are you even out here? He's like, I can't keep defending you if you're gonna keep doing that. I said, what were your thoughts on Billy and like coaching and him as a coach in general?
I would say that well, for one, he was a master teacher from a blocking perspective. Like you gotta remember, bro, I'm a third down back, bro. And I tell people this all the time. I say one of my greatest achievements is that I was trusted to block for Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick, Brett Favre. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like at my size, bro, like the fact that like, nah, he's gonna get it done. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, and I credit that to Billy Sexton, period. Because he was a technician when it came to blocking. You know what I mean? Like, and so he, and then just IQ, you know what I mean, bro? We watched tape with Coach Sexton, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we really did. I remember the Virginia game, bro, and I'm talking about the one where they came down to us in 04. And it was a big game. They was undefeated. We smashed them. But remember that game, we kept seeing that we knew that when they did a certain role, that the safety would come along with the Sam. And us and y'all would have to communicate that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so we had basically the freedom right there. Hey, switch this up, bro. And then we would go pick it up. And so, from a blocking perspective, from a technique, and just from IQ watching tape, bro, Billy, he was awesome. You know what I mean? Like, he was awesome in that way, And I couldn't really appreciate that till I got to the pros. And I was like, yo, like, this is like, we've been doing this. You know what I mean? Like, we've been doing this. And so he was, I loved him in that regard. And then also, bro, just that same year, when we went to Syracuse, bro, right before Virginia, they did something, ESPN did something on me and Leon because of the fact that we controlled our own substitution. And people don't a lot of people don't realize, think about that. This is Florida State, and me and Leon controlled our substitution. You know what I'm saying? Like the trust that you had, that's crazy, and so I look at that now and I'm going who allows running backs to decide who goes in? And it goes to show the relationship that Leon and I also had. You know what I mean? Like there was no, oh, I'm about to, try to show him up, or anything like that. It was like, bro, if Leon went out and he broke, he'd be like, hey, go, now you go get one. Or vice versa. You know what I mean? And so it was just, our SEG, bro, was very special. And I mean that from the bottom. And I also, and I challenge anybody. I believe that in 03, we had the most loaded backfield in Florida State history. And this is why I'm saying that. Because Leon played, 10, 11 years. Greg played 11, 12. I played 6. And you got into training camp. But here's the thing, though. When we all left, we was all in the top 10 all time for rushing. All 3 of us. You see what I'm saying? So I'm looking at this and I'm going, yo, we was all there at the same time. So, and that year in 04, me and Leon both ended the year with 900 and something rushing yards. that ain't been touched ever.
And I think I almost had 100.
Exactly.
It was crazy, dog.
Yeah, at fullback, bro.
Yeah.
So and you had probably 6, 7 touchdowns to go with it. So I'm just looking at it from a career perspective. When you take us all into consideration, how many touchdowns you had in your career, me, Leon, Greg, and that didn't even count. Anton came in the next year.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at 03 just because that's when me, Greg, and Leon was there. You and James was there. And I'm just looking at that and I'm going, bro, you'd have a hard pressed time to find a backfield that did more in their career at Florida State who was all playing at the same time. Like we was all actually playing, you know? And so it's kind of trippy, you know, when you look at that, you know?
And I was telling people too about, just the greatness of Billy. You know, it wasn't not shit. About 18 months ago, if I'm doing the math right, he had a real bad stroke.
Yeah.
So he's getting better now, though. Well, I mean, relatively speaking, but I was like, that man put more backs in the league. I don't like if you just from a consecutive standpoint, like the backs that he's put in the league, like
man.
To have 4 first-round picks, and then even the guys who weren't your first-round picks, just the level. I'm like, to go and be a running back at Florida State under Billy Sexton was just like it's almost on par to what people would say with Dell being the D tackle. Like,
that's true.
Just developing. I teach that shit to running backs now. Like I've coached high school for almost a decade, broken up a little bit, but like I've never not had a 1,000-yard back. And they be like, people do all these drills, and I'm like, I'm gonna tell you the most simple thing. I remember Billy used to be like, "Hey man, run where they ain't." Like he's like, the only things that I can teach you is how to pass pro, the plays, and how to run routes. The running part, you either can do it or you can't. I'm gonna know real quick if you can't do it, and I'm gonna put you somewhere else. But
don't be a blind dog in the meat house. Remember you used to say,
dude. It was the quotes, bro. Like that's one of the things that I'll be finding myself saying shit. I'm like, damn, that's that shit Billy used to say. Don't be a blind dog in the meat house, bro. Like, you ain't got it. One time, I don't even know what this would mean. He said, you ain't got he used to say something like, you ain't got the sense that God promised the green apple. I don't even know what that means. But like I say it.
Bro, I don't know if you remember, bro. Me and Willie Reed, we die on this one, bro. Billy Sexton. And he was going in on BJ, bro. This was during the game, bro. He's going in on BJ, you know. And BJ, you know how BJ look when he tired. He get like, you know. And BJ said, Coach, he said, Coach, I'm giving you all I got. And Billy said, and that's why I love you.
Hey man, he was crazy, though.
Bro, the switch in from going to getting cussed out to that's why I love you, bro. It was classic. But then it was another one, bro. And this is one of the hardest laughs I ever had in my life. You remember Russell Ball?
Oh yeah.
So Russell had that Ja Rule voice about him. You know what I'm saying? Like remember he was little, but he had super deep voice. Well, Russ, man, look, we just clowning right now, okay? So, but Russ had that his shit was hot now. You know, you get too close. hey, now look.
It was talking to you, though. You can see closed captions when he spoke to you.
That boy shit was hot, boy, hot. You know what I'm saying? Hey, so. Bruh, so we, remember he tore his knee that year. So, bro, we out there for spring, bro. This is 05, you know what I'm saying? Senior year. So, we out there for spring, bro. And Coach Sexton was like, you been rehabbing, Coach Sexton, Russ was like, yes, sir, yes, sir. He was like, all right, make sure you're doing this, this, and this. Get you ready for fall, So, Coach Sexton was getting ready to leave, and he turned around and he looked at him. And he looked him up and down, and he said, brush your teeth, will you? And walked off. I collapsed right there, bro. Like I collapsed. Like, and he didn't laugh. He didn't turn around and smile, bro. He meant that shit. You know what I'm saying? And he walked off. That's top 5 in my life. I just died right there.
And you want to know what's wild with Billy? When he was done talking, he was done talking. Like he walked off. Like he could be in the middle of a conversation. You might have something. He's done, so he's walking. So I can like imagine that shit, dog.
Bro, he just walked off, bro. So I go to Leon and I'm choking trying to tell him like what happened. And you know, Leon, bro, super chill. Leon said, man, I seen that yellow shit on his TV. He said, I already knew what time it was. Bro, I swear, bro, them is the best, bro. Like I tell people all the time, I say, man, if you can't laugh at yourself, you missing out, man. You missing out, man. Like clowning each other is the best.
It's a very tough world. I tell people I got prepared for the world being in Florida State's locker room.
Yeah,
you learn all these different cultures. You got coaches yelling at you, stressful situation. If you can't find some humor, boy, you're gonna be woo.
Man. Cats like Chris Davis and Buster like help get you through. You know what I mean? Like Chris, I'm trying to remember ever seeing CD in like a bad mood. CD was he was always, clowning, smiling, and
You remember when they got his head? Remember Chris, he tore his ACL. He tried to crutch away.
Yeah,
he didn't work for him, man. He had just got some fresh braids too, dog. He had just gotten the fresh braids, and they left with one braid in there, I think.
Man, they said you gonna get that zero.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? You gonna get that zero. You know what I mean? Hey, but when they got Tom and he came walking into that meeting room, and Coach Bowden, remember Coach Bowden just looked, remember he came in late and Coach Bowden just pointed his finger and started laughing at him. And the whole room just started crying. And that's the thing, like you wasn't gonna get saved by going to Coach Bowden. Matter of fact, Coach Bowden addressed it. And he said, look, man, y'all know that Charlie Ward, he shaved his head. Deion Sanders, he shaved his head. Like, you wasn't getting saved by going to Coach Bowden. He like, nah, bro, Peter Ward, all these cats, they shaved their head.
And what's fucked up now is this Google. So I got these dreads, and the kids be like, hey, Coach, you over here acting like you always had hair. What's up with that bald that you had? I was like, hey, man, that was a rough time in my life, man. I don't really want to talk about it, man. I said, just know this. No matter how bad you are, you can't fight everybody, man.
Nah, bro. Nah. Especially when you got T Weezy and come on, man. Like, man, him and rest in peace, T Weezy, but him and Antoine Marambo. Bro, remember they walk up on him. You killed Cookie Head Jenkins, didn't you?
Bro, the movies, dog.
Okay,
remember we used to quote,
I tried.
Yeah, remember we used to quote 5 Heartbeats, the whole goddamn,
man,
just randomly.
Classic. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, that's
these boys got streaming now. We had so you saw so your son's getting recruited. You saw what they got now, right?
Man, it's ridiculous.
I told him we had the one big screen. I can't even call it a big screen TV. It was probably only like 45 inches. It just seemed like a big screen, the pleather couches.
Yeah.
But the older guys controlled the DVD player. And we was watching Hollywood Shuffle, program, like actually whatever Todd wanted to watch. We was watching that the whole time. I'd never seen or heard of that movie until I got to college, but I know it by heart because Todd made us watch that shit.
Man, and it was just like, bro, Florida State, it's like you said, Florida State prepared you for anything after. Like there was nothing that you couldn't deal with, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I mean that in every way, physically, emotionally, spiritually. There was nothing you couldn't deal with coming out of there. You know what I mean? And so I'm like overwhelmingly grateful and appreciative that like going there was as big of a goal as for me as going to the pros, bro. Like it really was. And it was everything I ever wanted it to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, when all y'all left on senior day, bro, I was crying, like literally. Because I was just thinking like, man, like I wanted to leave, my junior, because I just felt like it's not going to be the same. You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to do my senior year? Go out? You know what I mean? Like, it just felt like we supposed to leave
junior
together, you know what I'm saying?
My junior, basically, I guess it was ours. You just redshirted. But we went out. No, we would go to Potbelly. What was that place with the hibachi right by Potbelly's? Like we would go get some food from one of the places, and then we would go drink, and we would live it up, man. It was some times, man.
Yeah, boy, it's the best time, man. It's the best time of your life, man. And I tell people all the time, it don't even matter because, like, the pros is not the same because in college, everybody is at the same phase in their life, and all their goals is right in front of them. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is looking forward to that. You know, life, quote unquote, hasn't hit everyone. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you still got your, everybody's experiencing freedom for the first time. You know what I mean? And some of us can deal with it. Some of us can't, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, I feel like me and you, bro, one of my favorite memories with you was after we beat Miami. And it was already a party at my house, bro. Literally, we was at the house, bro, and it was me and you, and we was having a drink with my mom. It was the first drink I ever had with my mom. You know what I'm saying? But we was just like posted, and it was like, yo, we just beat these dudes. Like, what we about to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what we about to do right now? Like, because we can literally just do whatever we want to do. Like, what are we about to do right now? And it just felt like, yo, this is why we came to Florida State right here. Like to me, that's my greatest moment of. I just remember before I walked off the field, looking up in the stands, like, yo, when you get recruited and they show you these tapes about these moments, like this is that moment right now. You know what I mean? Like. And it was just like, I was like, man, I could die today. like this is like they stormed the field. It was just, man, that's my favorite win. You know, in my whole career was that one. You know,
that's why I always tell people that I went back about 3 years ago. Somebody showed me how violent that touchdown was.
Ooh,
I just didn't even remember it. You can hear the collision of me and Leon Williams over the broadcast.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. I was like, I'm glad I got the good side of that.
Yeah, bro. And then you got up ready to we had to pull your ass off of them. Even after that.
Yeah. Bobby got me fucked up that game though, because he called it again. But he fucked up and called it the wrong way.
Oh,
and
man.
Drew was too young. I'm like, Drew, nah, you can't do. Drew, we gotta go. Well, and so what I always tell people, I tell guys this all the time. I don't want to hear that shit. I played for Jeff Bowden. Yeah. We made that shit work. Like every offensive player is designed to score. If we do what we're supposed to do, it's gonna work. But I get it. But like when I looked, I was counting. It was a guard and a tackle. The bitches had 5 motherfuckers over there. So I'm gonna get fucked up right here. Yeah. And I got hit, but I still almost scored. It's the only time I ever got tackled for a loss.
Yeah.
In my career. I got back to the line of scrimmage, they said, but the motherfuckers got me. But like but I still almost, if I could have kept my feet, I would have walked in, but I was like, nah, man. That play wasn't designed to go 70.
Nah,
that play was designed to get a yard, 2 yards more.
You had one. I know you remember the one you had against Maryland, bro.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That one, you was rolling, and they had, they had DeQuell, they had Merriman, they had all kind of motherfuckers.
Hey, so Merriman was whooping AB's ass that game, dog. Like,
he was.
So real talk, but that motherfucker came off the edge, right? And he hit me so hard that the buckles evaporated off the top of my chin strap. The bitch just disappeared. And then that hard-ass chin strap came over my throat. And so I just spun, and I was just driving my legs. Them boys was hanging me. So I'm choking and running. And then I hit the ground, and I stopped. And then my visor is fogged up and sweat, and I open my eyes, and I can't see. So I'm spazzing. Randy ass comes out, man, what's wrong with you? I said, Randy, I can't see, Randy. I can't see. Randy looks at me. He's like, man, you dumbass. Your visor's fogged up. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Don't have me running out here thinking you dead. I was like, oh, all right, cool.
Oh, man. And Randy and Dave, bro, shout out to Randy because Randy took care of me, bro. Like, it was things that, like, you know, like, they gave you tough love. They didn't let you, you know, they wasn't letting you be no bitch. But it was 2 times, bro, where I needed to get a surgery. And Randy was like, nah, we gonna get that handled. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, quick. You know what I mean? One time I had turf toe, bro, and this my senior year, my redshirt senior year, bro. I had turf toe. Something shit was killing me, and then I had to drive to the doc house that time. You know what I'm saying? But he just Randy took care of me, bro. He took care of us, and shout out to Randy and Dave and that whole staff, man. They was dope. You know who I saw up there too, bro, was Delagal.
Yeah, he back. You know he works for what is Dave? Dave works for Gatorade now. And no, my bad. Jost works for Gatorade. I saw Jost.
Coach Jost
in Charlotte. Delagal actually works for Nike now.
Okay.
So like
you're right.
So but now next time you go, I learned this from Dub. Dub is the king of getting gear. Dub said in the spring game, he's like, "Hey, JC, come on with me. We finna go and I'm gonna treat this bitch like Dillard's." I said, yo, man, Dub crazy. We go in that bitch, dog. They gave me so much good gear, dog. I said, every time I come back, y'all gonna give me something about that. Man, let's believe I'm leaving with something. But like that gear, the guy who's there now was there before Dave, if I remember correctly. So like he good people. But nah, man, it was good times, man. Shoot. If anybody got any questions, man, in the comments, please leave it right now. Again, we're just catching up again. Good candidate. Best interview you could get is just guys just reminiscing and just chopping it up, man.
Man, I'm telling you, I love Nightcap for that reason. I love Nightcap because it's like it's unscripted and Unc and Ocho just be chopping it. You know what I'm saying?
I told somebody, man, if I could ever, once my marketing money really gets sold up and I could just talk and know I'm going, boy,
man.
Like the story, if I want to do, I'm gonna do a fake TV series if these walls could talk, and it just be about Bert stories. I told somebody, man, it's a lot of dudes out here loving on women whose wives frequented Bert, and if they only knew.
Listen, you know what I'm saying? Like that Bert boy, you know, you came in there, and man, you know, but what's crazy is we had a Bert, and I wonder how many colleges in the country had a quote Bert. Like we had our own football dorm way back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't remember like Notre Dame didn't have their own like Bert, you know, they didn't have that. UW didn't have that. Not then, you know what I'm saying? And so it was like the Bert then, like that was, you know, that was special. You know what I mean? Because it's like everybody is there, you bonding. We had a pool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know
barbecue.
What I'm saying? Like, yeah. Like that Bert was something, you know, like it's like you said, when you leave, you really look back and you like, man, you know, Cats had it, you know. You brought something like 30 minutes ago. You was like, man, like, you know, there wasn't no huddles or nothing. Bro, we had to stack the VCRs. You know what I mean? Record it that way and then send each individual tape out to all of them places. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know if they got there, bro. Like, you don't know if they watched it, rather. You don't know none of that. You just sending them tapes out.
I remember sitting in my highlight fields. My mom was mad because she had to go buy stuff. And she was like, boy, this better work. Because you had to, like, it wasn't. And she had the first thing she had to get was an extra VCR. And she got we thought it was next level because it was the one with the knob. So I had a little bit more control so I can like zero it in. Boy, them times, man. Them times, man, bro.
I'm trying to tell you, man, you know, and it's like my son because he's graduating early. He graduates in a year, in December, so less than a year. You know what I'm saying? And he young, bro. Like he's with him and Whitney. Like Whitney's birthday is August 13th, and Can's is the 14th. So he's only been 16, but you know, 4 or 5 months. You know what I'm saying? So that dude, whole freshman year, he gonna be 17. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it's like, you know, getting him prepared to get on out and just, you know, what to expect, and you know. Mainly it's the women though. You know what I mean? Mainly I'm like, yo, like, you know, be smart, bro. Be smart, you know what I mean? And he's very mature for his age, you know what I mean? You know, and obviously Lacey be on his head, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to that part. But
but you know, it's really that part because it's, you know, it's different now. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I will just leave it at that. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
different now. It's stuff that could have got laughed off back in the day that, you know, so, you know, I tell them, hey, save everything. You know what I'm saying? Save everything, any message, anything. You know what I'm saying? So, because you know, I know that he's obviously not that kind of kid. So I'm like, if somebody want to be mad, you know, for whatever reason, you need to have all of that. You know what I'm saying? All of that proof and all of that, but you just want to, you know, and it's like, but how do you even avoid that? You know what I'm
I
trying to say?
learned,
Like,
dude.
how do you even avoid certain things, bro? Like, it just,
What
you
I
know?
told folks, what I learned from trap, man. Like when I learned that that's how people can move.
Oh
Remember,
yeah, remember that? I forgot
yeah,
about it.
yeah. What made me really remember it was when the verdict came in not guilty. I
Yeah.
remember Odell busting out the room and just like, like he was like Odell was like excited, man. So like
Yeah,
when I seen that and then everybody had a crack at that shit. So I was
man.
just like, you know what? I was like, nope. I was like,
And the thing about it was too, what really made sense is, remember, Trap had surgery during that time.
I had the same
You know, yeah,
the label.
yeah. Remember, and you know, this chick was, you know, she
She
wasn't a
squatted
slim
more than
chick.
me.
Yeah, yeah, she was a shot putter, I think. So I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know Trap big, but Trap got one arm during this time. You know,
Dog,
I'm
I'm
like,
talking about
come on, man. Like, I'm
having
like,
had
come on.
the surgery book. All you got to do, if a woman really wanted to get away, all you got to do is tap you on that
That's
belt. No,
it, bro.
you
That is it.
collapsing, bro. You in
Yeah.
pain.
Come on,
But
man. And I remember that too, because it was like, wait a minute. Just off of that alone, it was like, how is Trap gonna do something with one arm? And again, this chick ain't 95 pounds. Like, what are we
to an
talking
all
about?
ACC thrower, like, like,
Come on, man.
please, you know,
Come
again,
on,
that's why I
man.
always tell people, I was like, man, I'm critical on certain things, man. I probably shouldn't be, but I'm like, I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen the bad part of it.
yeah.
But somebody asked it here, and I got to talk about it because it happened when we was in college, and I don't want to get anybody's situations thrown up a little bit, but you were so. This is before so imagine social media with this. So we had the cowgirls, but you had the twins. So somebody asked about that, and I'm just like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna ask my guy about that. What was the like? You were so famous that other people got famous around you. So what was that like?
Bro, it was what's crazy so I was dating one. I'm not gonna use the names, but I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
dating
yeah,
one
yeah,
of them because you know they both married now and shit. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
but I was dating one of them. You know, like she was my real girlfriend, like
Mm-hmm.
all the way. Like it wasn't. I mean, you know that. You know, it wasn't no play. You know, but you know they was identical twin sisters. You know what I'm saying? So they were. I mean, they were tight. You know what I mean? And they knew. The cool thing is we all had like similar personalities. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, it was just like, and the one that her sister, not the one that I was dating, but her sister was like a football fiend. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, shit, she used to regulate, nigga. Hey, no sex before the game. No, like, like, look, your ass need to focus. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so she was like, they was on, like, they, you know, they was, you know, it was awesome because like the support that I got, you know what I mean? And we was tight. We was like a little family, you know what I mean? So it was dope, you know what I mean? And so um like we would go to the movies sometimes, bro. And you know, just going to the movies, you know what I'm saying? But you know, because of the way that it looked, you know what I mean? Like the high schoolers is there, bro. You know, this is Thursday night. So it's not Friday night, it's Thursday night we would go to the movies or something. And you know what I mean? Like the high school kids would see it and they just would be like, man, what? You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, and so they, you know, they would just kind of like laugh and smile, make the little kids feel good, you know, maybe give them a wink or something. You know what I mean? And so they just ate it up, you know what I mean? But they you know, they really were just supporting me, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, the one was my real woman, and you know, and that was her sister. So, you know, she was she was all in, you know what I mean? They were all in, and you know, the love and support that I got from them was dope. Even when I was in Miami, like, you know, bro, the one had a key to my house. And that wasn't even my woman, but we was just so cool. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, we was just so cool. So, you know, but it was fun because it like they would never let me see the outfit before the game. So I never knew. And they would always make a new one for every game. Like bro, these was from scratch, bro. Like,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
it's not like they was going and buying these things, you know what I mean? So, you know, so it was kind of cool because, you know, I'm low key looking up in the stands trying to see what they had on that day. You know, I still remember though when I scored at the Orange Bowl, and this was the first time they did it. I didn't know they was gonna do it, but I scored and they put them on the jumbotron, and Q, you know, Q came over and he said, "Hey man, what's that? What's that up there?" And I really didn't, you know, like I didn't have an explanation because it was the first time, and I didn't know that was gonna happen. I didn't know they were gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I found out that night, you know, against Miami the same way everybody else did, and then once they saw and we saw how much attention it got, it was like, oh no, we gotta keep that rolling. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, can you imagine if it was now, bro? They'd have all kind of. They would have created a whole separate lane of income off of that. You know what I mean? That would have been dope. It would have been dope for all three of us.
Bro, they set the path for the Cowgirls. So CJ Perry and I forgot the former reporter or whatever. So they were before that, and then like now social. Like again, I tell people it's so much stuff that I'm grateful. I'm so much stuff I'm mad I didn't have social media for, but it's also so much stuff that I'm grateful that I didn't have social media for. I'll tell you another moment, and we don't got to go into too deep into it, but I remember I was combine. Actually, no, I had just talked to you, and you were getting ready to go like to the beach or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Fred pulled the OJ Simpson on you, like left the one glove.
Man, bro. And but JC, that's literally what happened. I was on my way to the beach, like you said. Like, no, I just got back from the beach.
Okay.
So I just got back from the beach at Destin. I was in Destin. I had just got back. Bro, I come in, and I swear to God, JC, like, first of all, it's blood everywhere. So I'm like, my ridiculous ass walked in though. Like, bro, I didn't like I went in there. Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even think, like, what if the person is still in there? Because at the time, I don't know what this is. I don't know who in there. But I'm following the blood, first of all, bro. Blood is everywhere. So I'm like, is this a joke? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's trying to lead me into a straight ambush because I'm just following the blood. But I get into my boy Joe's room, the TV is busted on the ground, and it's our football glove, bro, and it's super wet. Like, damn, bro, you was sweating like that? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, the TV ain't that heavy, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, nah, this can't be that easy. There's no way this can be that easy. And I turned because I'm like, it better not be no number under this glove. It better not. And if it is, it better not belong to this person. Sure enough, it was Fred's glove. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, somebody stole Fred's glove. Fred ain't that crazy. He not not even that crazy. He's just not that gone. You know, I'm thinking. And but you know, him and AJ, they was actually that gone. You know, at that time. Like you know, they was doing stuff that take you out of your right mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, bruh, my Xbox was gone, but JC, none of the cords was with it. And the Xbox, I'm not gonna say who went and tried to sell the Xbox at the Burt, without the cords, JC, for damn near full price though. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Like, that mean you gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I even wrote a letter though. Like, when we met him at court, I said, man, I'm not trying to take this cat's freedom. I just want my bread for what was taken. But I'm trying to take nobody's freedom. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z, stop, man. Like, come on, bro. I know you struggling. You know, it was still my brother. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
what was wild is we was combine training. We wasn't struggling.
Exactly.
We had money. Like,
Exactly.
So I know he had money. So,
bro. Hey.
But another moment though, since we now talk about that, going back to football, when I realized that Bobby Bowden was that motherfucker. Remember after we came back from Virginia and Fred cussed Bobby out for trying to put him in the game on that Thursday night? Fred came back, thought it was sweet. He went up and Bobby Bowden, because again, like you said, you do not have to have an appointment to meet with Bobby. Went in Bobby's office and said, there's nothing we need to talk about. You off this team. What I need you to do is sign this sheet of paper so that this is your waiver and your release. And Fred thought, I guess your mom and your dad have some pull or some shit. They came up there thinking they was going to cuss Bobby out. He said, oh, my bad. Before that happened, Kevin was in the office. They was waiting on him. He said, Kevin, can you reach in that file cabinet, Kevin? And Coach Steele opened that bitch up, had his release. He called his mom. Mom tried to come in and said, there ain't nothing we need to talk about. The only thing we need to talk about, if he going to be on this team, here is what he is going to say in his apology. Trap is the one who told me about Bobby. If Bobby wrote the apology that you was going to say, you was going to say what he told you to say, or you was going to get the fuck on.
That's exactly what you was going to do. We talking about a cat who sent Randy Moss home, bro.
He said that to him.
You know what I mean? Like, it ain't no thing to send your ass back.
Right.
You know, like, come on, man. He did. Remember BD? Remember BD when he wouldn't report? BD held out. BD was the first true freshman to hold out. How you hold out as a true freshman? Man,
I wanted to know.
Man, remember he made him gator roll, bro, like 1,000 yards or some crazy shit like that. 24 periods is what we practice. A, B, C, D. So what people don't realize, so again, it's 20 hours. You can only practice 20 hours. They only count periods 1 through 24. Conditioning don't count. And periods A, B, C, and D are what you choose to do. Yep.
To add to the program.
Bro.
This man, A, B, C, D, periods 1 through 24 and conditioning was doing nothing but punishments for every day of practice he missed. Because he didn't get the starting job. He was mad with Coach Khan's. Buster went home. He went back to Daytona. It was like, where's that? He ain't in the room, Coach. What you mean he ain't in the room? And he went back home. Man, I told him, I said, bro, I will never respect somebody. Like, if don't nobody want to play for Florida State now more than you want to play for Florida State. Because ain't no way I would have done all of them conditions.
Nah.
And we over there sipping, taking a break. Period 5, rest.
Remember how good that juice used to taste, boy? Ooh.
So you know what I do? So are you on social media or no?
Yeah, now I am because I gotta
send you some videos. So I go to the games and Clint gives me a press pass. So every time I go on the field, right, I go right to it. I tell people, I'm like, if I go to practice, I'm like, this is how I know they're gonna win or not, if they're gonna win this game. So I gotta go sip on the juice. Now when Tag was there, I don't know who was making the juice, but it was stepped on. It wasn't quality. The quality of the juice was undefeated. I didn't taste the Orange Bowl juice, but like the other games that we've had, the juice been on point, man. It's been shade tree type juice. Especially that green. That green was my favorite juice, dog.
Bro, and that's the thing. On one end, he was telling Fred to leave. But for BD, he was like, oh, no, you're not leaving.
No, you're not
leaving. Until I punish you.
No. Oh, you're going to get the work.
You're not leaving until I punish you.
He told him, you can go wherever you want to go, but you're going to walk on. I'm not giving you your release. And like Buster got that work, dog. And I respected it, dog. I respected it. Like, he couldn't have been me. No, dog. I would have quit. No, sir. bro, like board pushes, gator rolls,
bro.
Bear crawls. Like imagine 2 hours.
Bro.
2 hours of bear. You know how long that is?
And this was when there was none of this regulating shit, bro. None of this. You can only do this for this long because there was none of that, bro. There was
Only
no
time
regulation.
So this to make Randy a real. Remember 03 that practice when almost everybody died? Like it was so hot in 2 days. Like Randy went over there. Oh, we whooped the defense ass in goal line. And like Mickey was running them. And when he seen Michael Boulware go down, Randy said, nah. He went up to Mickey and said, nah, that's it. This is over. I'm stepping in. If Mickey wanted to fight him, dog, that's what I see, dog. That's the only time I seen that.
Man, dude, and to me, and I feel like those moments, bro, where you put under that kind of pressure, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what's missing, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it goes back to kind of what we talked about. Opportunity is great, but I still feel like, you know, because of the fact that with this opportunity, you get guys who don't want to go through that crucible. You know what I'm saying? You get guys who don't want to go through that, like, you know, the becoming process, bro. Like, I mean, like JC, you was a walk-on, bro. Like a walk-on back when walk-ons was and again, like I need people to really like understand that if you walk on today, that's very difficult. You walked on then at Florida State. Like, bro, walk-ons don't get, you know, like you was basically having to do a crash test dummy type stuff against the best defensive linemen and linebackers in the country. Motherfuckers who gonna be in the Pro Bowl in another year. You know what I'm saying? And you had to go through that to get an opportunity, just to get an opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Played as a true freshman. Played as a true freshman, got my scholarship in 6 months.
You see what I'm saying? At Florida State, right after we got team of the decade, bro. Like, and so I'm just saying, like, and my son, bro, like I've always raised him. I said, look, it's 2 things that you don't want people to ever say about you, which basically means 2 things you always want to be synonymous with your name. 1, you're a good kid. 2, that you work your ass off. I said, bro, like, you know, when you go through things, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what the hard shit is. How you deal with the hard shit is what's going to determine whether you get to where you're going or you don't. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so, you know, when shit gets hard, that's when you turn up. You know what I mean? Like, and all this stuff we talking about, like we laughing, and I know people watching, and it sound like it was just fun. No, that shit was hard. No. That shit was hard. You know, and that's how you know who your brothers are, the ones who go through it with you. That's how you know.
Tell somebody, it's perspective of not wanting to go back. Like, I'm from Tallahassee, but Billy would joke with me, said, when I fucked up, he'd be like, I'm gonna send your ass back to Rockbrook. And that's the hood I came from. I'm like, man, fuck that. It was funny is because my mom moved out and had a house. I'm like, damn, you gonna send me back to the worst? I said, hell no, I ain't going back. That's how I'm gonna come through here. And I used to listen to Troublesome 96. That was one of my mixes before every game. And there's this bar by Pac said, like my nigga Napoleon said, somebody gotta explain why I ain't got shit. And that was my mindset that I went into. And I was like, man, if it's got to be me or you, it's going to be you before it's me.
That's the shit me and my son do. It's just slightly adjusted. I just say, hey, look, somebody got to pay for this shit we just went through. Like, if you go through some hard shit, you're like, somebody got to pay for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Like, exactly. I judge life 0 to mat drills. If it's tougher than mat drills, I ain't got no business doing it. In fact, I got COVID really bad in 01, almost died. And I was telling people that what I was going through, like I couldn't breathe. I had had pneumonia, so I couldn't breathe. So I had to make decisions if I wanted to breathe or if I wanted to be in pain. But I was sitting there, I was like, was that tough? I said, yeah, that was tougher than mat drills. But mat drills was so tough that it helped me get through that moment. I was like, it was really that bad? I said, yeah. And we got the easy version of mat drills because somebody died, because Twin died. And
because then it wasn't no water.
Yeah.
It wasn't no break, bro. It was 18, 18, 18, no water. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh.
Your rest was when you ran from one drill to the next. And just imagine how freaky. Well, I always try to tell people, imagine how freaky it is. You coming in, everybody's scaring you. You know you got to be there at a certain time. And when you walking in, you see the ambulance truck and you see the stretcher, and like you like, man, what the hell are we about to do?
Yes.
And so,
bro, it's true though. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and you go to find out that, you know, it's your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like it's supposed to get you to where, and motherfuckers won or lost jobs in February. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like if you was bullshitting on them mats, you came, your ass was third on that depth chart. They, you know what I'm saying? They ain't play that shit with the mats, bro. Like they did not play that shit. And it was just, but bro, Florida State made me so like, just like you said, bro, you like, man, what you gonna show me? Bro, when I went to the league, I felt like that. What you gonna show me? I'm already practicing against Cromartie and Ernie and Trap and, you know what I'm saying? P-Dub. I'm like, what you gonna show me? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? This nigga Myron came in as a true freshman. We like, what are you gonna show me? Like, right. You know what I mean? Like, bro, we got true freshmen over here, bro, coming in at 6'3", fucking 210. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just, I just felt, because everybody always assumes that going to the pros was some shock. I said, no. I said my adjustment from Florida State to the pros, it's not even comparable to the adjustment that I had going from high school to Florida State. There was nothing the same. Nothing. You know what I'm saying?
That, the games we played, like I took my first game that I broke my red shirt, my true freshman year, was against Miami. Yeah. I said, that
was Miami, like right after 01.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what I keep telling when they say we back. I'm like, no, you'll never be back. It's like you have no idea how good those guys were.
Man.
No, I think I did the math book. I played against 12 first rounders on defense from that time in Miami. That ain't including Andre Johnson. I forgot the 2 offensive linemen. That's not even including their second and third rounders. That's first rounders in that 4 year. But like I told him the only way I can liken it is Jamie Foxx in Any Given Sunday when he first went in and all he saw was blurs. I was like, dog, I don't know what the fuck I'm finna touch. Yeah. But I'm just gonna try to grab one of these blurs, try to catch one of them, and then the game slows down eventually. But it's like it's crazy. But like again, practicing with NFL guys, you got 2 games a year where that's an NFL game where very few teams that you can go to will get you that kind of experience where you're practicing constantly against the top guys and you're going to basically play 2 NFL games. And it was fun. Outside of NC State, even though that was the greatest NC State teams they've ever had. I remember
it was, bruh.
Yeah, that's when I knew I was going to be okay. Remember when Billy pulled his hamstring? Trying to run with you down the sideline? I think I went the wrong way too, but I went full speed because I had broke my hand. I broke my hand the first play, and I was just like, I didn't know I broke. I just knew my hand was. I knew it. Yeah. I knew it was going to be bad because it hurt. And that adrenaline be pumping. Yeah. I was like, damn, it's going to suck when that adrenaline go down. And I went full speed, hit the dude, went the wrong way.
Block, bro, that sprung it because I bounced and you dropped him. You know what I'm saying? And shit. Nigga, once you get me in space, sit back. Sit back. I'll take this shit from here, but you dropped it. Bro, me, Leon, and Greg had 100 in that game.
Yeah, and then Leon got the last time. I told him straight up.
Yeah,
we was in the huddle. I said, hey, I played the whole game.
Yeah.
It was like 110
because BJ
broken hand, fucked up shoulder. I was like, yo, this it right here, dog.
We gotta leave, bro. Like we gotta end this shit. It was double overtime. We gotta end this shit.
I remember it was 45. 45. We ran at that bitch. I came in. I just threw everything into that motherfucker. Man. I didn't know what. Because Crow had broke his leg to play before, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, man. And Crow was going crazy that year.
Dog. I gotta send you the video that my son showed me. I found it. But we was talking mad shit on NBC after we whooped Notre Dame's ass, man. Because remember, they called us soft.
Yeah.
They said we was soft, man.
Nah, they did. They did.
And me and BJ was like, we finna have a card off game. I think we had 5 bodies that game.
Bro,
5 guys
it was bad. It was bad, bro. I mean, it was the worst loss they had since like 62 or some crazy shit like that. When Leroy went like 90 to the crib on that interception return, it was like, man.
We was mad disrespectful too. Remember the walkthrough? We was like, our walkthrough was so unserious. Like we was just like, we was doing, the lineman was doing 7-on-7 or some shit like that. I was just like, damn, now I was like, either we finna whoop their ass or we gonna get our ass whooped. I don't know which one finna happen.
Bro, me and Ricks was talking about that a few weeks back, like a month ago, bro. And because he was like, it was like a 20-year anniversary from when we smacked them fools. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it came right out of the gate because he went up top to Crow. You know what I mean? Crow killed him. Crow had like 2-something.
He broke the game receiving record.
Yeah, he smashed him, man. Like he ate their ass up because he had 200 against I think Colorado too. He was having a year, boy.
Yo, we whipped a lot of ass that year. I forgot all about Colorado. Remember they disrespected. They tried to disrespect the hand.
Come on, that was Cameron. That was Cameron coming out party because Cameron was coming to get their ass, but we beat them like 46-6 or some crazy shit like that. You know what I mean?
Hey, Buddy got in that game. We whooped their ass so bad that Buddy. Hey, so Cat Williams is going crazy right with this thing, and I joke with people say I don't know what's the truth or not, but I'm gonna sit. He went on a podcast back in 2000. And he was talking about his career at Florida State.
Buddy?
Buddy. Buddy was talking about his career at Florida State. And he brought up that game, and like you listen to him talk about it, you would have thought he went for like 20 for 150 that game. But like they were asking him about his career, but like that's the only game I was trying to tell you. And I was like, but if you look at him talk with a straight face, you would think like, yo, he had to be that motherfucker. Like they were so deep. They had Leon, Lorenzo, Greg, and Buddy. That's what.
You want to know something? But I don't know if you remember, bro. It was this spring practice, and trains start going off in this particular spring, bro. He might have had 100 in this particular practice. You know what I'm saying? That's my 5-year-old right there. Say hi, Kai.
What up?
So he like, bro, when he went off in this particular spring game. Spring wasn't a game, but it was a practice. We was like, Train went off. You know what I'm saying? He got his carries because they would always kind of like wean us back, bro. Like once we kind of hit halfway through, they start giving other cats reps, and you know what I'm saying? And then we knew once it was that spring where we just went out, bro, and like we was starting killing. Billy would start. All right, hey, James, sit this series out. All right, get at the Joe Surratt. All right, like we already knew, all right, spring's over for us. Like we basically showed him we ready to roll. But so Train was getting some reps, bro. And man, bro, he was eating that game, bro. We was like, Train, I think it was against like the twos or something. It wasn't against the starters, but Train was like, that was like Train's like, hey man, like I'm better than y'all think type moment. You know what I'm saying? You don't remember Eric James though.
I do.
You remember Eric James?
He hits me up on Facebook every now and then randomly. I think and it's another one walking. He was from St. Thomas Aquinas. I can't remember his name. I think he actually got a scholarship.
Running back?
Yeah, running back. 04.
Was it remember Pat Davis and Coach Sexton called him P. Diddley?
I seen Diddy. Diddy be coming through. Diddy sells whiskey. Now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coach Sexton could never call him P. Diddy. He said P. Diddley.
No. Hey, so check this right here. I call the position running back. So when I'm coaching my running backs, and they be like, why? I said, man, listen, dog, my position coach was about the whitest man you could get. That motherfucker did not recruit white running backs at all. I said, in fact, I remember when Pat came in the spring. He came to the door and he said, and coach said, excuse me, son, I think you're lost. you must be going down. The kickers are down that way. And he said, nah, coach, I'm a run. He said, son, I ain't seen a white running back since the Betamax. I said, I will never forget that day when he looked that white boy in the face and said, hey, they don't make white running backs. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Bro.
Yeah.
I loved the fact that he was just so blunt. You know what I'm saying? Like all our coaches was like, and I mean, I feel like that's what's missing in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's missing in life. Like I said, my son be clowning some of his friends, and I can see some of his friends can't take it, and but he was raised that way.
Because of who raised him, dog.
To each other, bro. Like
if you raised him, so I be listening to what I say, and I know how my mom reacts. She'd be like, I can't believe this, because my son will repeat. I call people sassy all the time. I say, man, you get your sassy ass away from me. My son and his friends are playing the dozens and doing a freestyle. This is Round, one of his best friends. He called him sassy. I said, you called your homeboy sassy? He was like, yeah, Daddy, he be acting sassy like a little girl. I said, oh, man. I said, you're right, though, son. Good job.
You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. You know what I'm saying?
Trey told a girl that he beat, and I like this girl. She's a little cute girl when he beat for class president.
Yeah.
He straight up told her, he's like, listen, man, don't worry about it. All battles can be fought. She was going up against me. Not all battles can be won. He was like, you should have known. Like, he talked cash money shit, man. I was like, bitch, your little ass better know how to fight. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, man. It's a cat on social media, and he brought that up. He said, some of y'all, you need to be honest with your kid. He said, because the kid may have the talent to play at a particular school. He said, but does this kid have the mind? Is your kid going to be able to go into a locker room and be able to deal with people talking trash? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's normal. Like, that's like, but the fact that this is something that even has to be addressed now tells you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to Florida State because I won. I was like, no, I need to be around people who think like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro. Like, because I think I'm that dude. So I need to be around motherfuckers who think they that dude, because then we just going to keep bringing it out of each other. That's the one thing that playing with Whitney, you know what I'm saying? Like, Whitney was like, when I looked at, I was like, this motherfucker is cold. But I loved it. And then so we fed off each other. And so when I was there, and I got that with Leon, and I just appreciate playing with guys who are really good. It's not intimidating to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it brings out the best in me. And so I just feel like, and that's what he was saying was like, if you know your kid don't got that kind of mind, don't send him over there. Send him somewhere where you feel like it ain't going to be as much of that. You know what I'm saying? So like out here, bro, we don't do our off season around here. I take his ass to LA. I take him over to Modern Day, St. John Bosco. You know what I mean? We was at Florida State's elite camp. Bro, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, no, I'm going to put you in any kind of situation to see any kind of dude. You know what I'm saying? And so people, when they see him play, because he's a super, like, when he quiet as hell, but when he put a helmet on, that motherfucker goes, it's a whole nother deal. Because I told you, he's way bigger than me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So his mind is just different. So when it's time to compete, he talking big shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, but that's why he could go anywhere and he gonna be fine, because you gonna look at him and know, motherfucker, okay, you better knock me out, motherfucker. And he's competing, but you know as well as I do, James, that's the kind of guy you want to go to war with.
Right.
I want to go to war with that kind of guy. The guy who like, nah, I'm not gonna bow down, motherfucker. You gonna have to come and drag me off of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, there ain't nothing you could tell me to break me. And I say that shit all the time, motherfucker. If you could break my son verbally, then goddamn, I didn't do my job.
That part.
You ain't no way you talk more shit to him than me. You know what I'm saying? So you saying something to him, like, come on. He like, man, please. I ain't worried about you, little motherfucker. What you gonna do? You know what I mean? So, and I feel as though, like, coaches, because parents now, are like, don't talk to little Billy like that. Well, now you cheating the kid from that. Because if his dad ain't there and the dad ain't doing it, and you're not allowing the coach to do it neither. But yet you want him to go out in the world and to be able to assimilate and overcome adversity and all of that. Like, nah, it don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it just, I appreciate our coaches for being raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we was raw. You know, I loved knowing that Florida State pull up, that meant your ass. You know what I'm saying? like, you know, you getting there's some real cats coming off this bus.
That part. But yeah, man. So what is your thoughts on the overall direction of Florida State, Coach Norvell, seeing as from a former player perspective, but also as a dad of a top prospect coming up in the class in 2025?
What I love about Norvell. I mean, first of all, a lot of people criticize the hire in the beginning, but these are people who didn't do their homework, because if they did their homework, they would see that he had several, I want to say 4 10-win seasons straight at Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the cat could coach. It's not like he couldn't coach, and his offenses were definitely doing well over there. So, I knew his resume was fine, like, you know, but seeing him in person, I mean, because you could see what he was building just from the previous year. You know what I'm saying? You're like, okay, they got something going, you know? But seeing him in person, I was like, you know what? Like, he's a player's coach. That's fine. He's a player's coach, but I don't mean it in a way where he's trying to be a buddy. I mean, he's a player's coach because he does a good job of understanding where these 20-something-year-old kids are in their mind right now. You know, no, leave it in there. He's understanding where those 20-something-year-old kids are in their mind. And I love that he's involved in practice. Like, he's in practice. You know what I'm saying? Like he's there. He's running around with the guys. And, you know, there's something to be said for that, because then you really, really feel like you in it together. You know what I mean? I like it, you know, and the kid and the players love playing for him. You know, when I was talking to Casey, you know, about going there, that was basically my thing. It's like, you know, look what's coming back. Look what's being built. And, you know, usually when you're picking a college and you weighing a lot of different stuff. You know what I'm saying? And with Casey, I was just kind of like, yo, like this decision is purely football. You know what I'm saying? Like for you, because you're not going to be there long enough to really have to think about anything else, you know? So I just explained to him what the environment in Tallahassee was in general, what it was like playing football, what it was like for playing football in the South, but having that kind of coach in that environment and in that culture, you know what I'm saying? Like that's exactly what you need for where Florida State is going. Like, that's the kind of guy you want to play for. And so, you know, he took his trip out there. He loved it. And I mean, obviously he had a great year. The team had a great year, but you know, I love where they're going. You know what I'm saying? I think he did a tremendous job. I mean, I know Coach Prime got a lot of love for what he did in the portal, and I mean, and rightfully so. But you know, Coach Norvell, come on now, he put in what they put in. Florida State put in work in that portal last year. You know,
yeah.
So you know, we just got DJ out there. You know, who's from SoCal, St. John Bosco. And so that, you know, that was a big hole to fill. And, you know, and I know they're going to get to work filling them other spots, because we do lose a lot this year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We lose a lot this year. So, you know, but it's an opportunity for some guys that we don't know about to step up, which has to happen every year. And again, they're going to get to work in that portal. And so it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what transpires over spring, you know, and really all the way up till camp, because we didn't get Keon until camp started. You know what I'm saying? And Keon is the one who told me that. He's like, yo, you know what I mean? Keon Coleman just went to Florida State. I was like, what? Like, he was the one who told me about that. And obviously that was a huge pickup right before camp. So, you know, we really don't know. We ain't going to know who we are really until camp starts, which is exciting, considering, like I said, how well we've done in the past in the portal.
Yeah, when I 3 springs ago, right before the 10-win season, I remember I went out there. Actually, before that, when we went 5-7, my son, who gets a chance to see NFL, high school, all of that stuff, he came out to the Florida State practice. He's like, "Hey, Dad, is this a high school team or is this a college team?" I was like, this motherfucker finna get us not welcome back.
Yeah.
And then he came back and he hung around him. And one thing I'll say is this: is Mike is the same person, whether you meet him at 6 a.m., 6 p.m., midnight, no matter what, he's up here. And he's probably one of the most genuine coaches that I've been around, man. And like I told him, like people thought in the beginning, I'm just a critical person because people ask me questions, and I'm not going to tell you we're going to be undefeated if I think we're going to win 5 games.
Yeah.
And but when I was looking at it, and I'm looking at the progression, I'm like, yo, I can see this guy. And one thing I can tell, this would have made me like him. So they go 3-6 the first year, right? This motherfucker asked to be on my show, and I'm critical than a motherfucker because I was saying my partner at the time, who was a Gator, literally had to ask me. He's like, "Hey man, how many times you gonna remind this man he went 3-6? And how many times you gonna tell him that the only times you want to see the numbers 3 and 6 together is when you look to the left and the right in the vestibule of your house and you see one in white and you see one in garnet?" And I was like, "Damn, I didn't realize I was saying it that much." But
Don't do that.
it was no hard feelings. He's just like, yo, I know I was brought here, and that's not the standard. And I have this saying that people give me credit for, that the standard is the standard. And that came from Mike. Mike is the one who said, I came here to win championships and compete for championships. And a lot of the reason why I tell a lot of fans that they don't really know their history, I said, y'all motherfuckers call us the lost decade. We won 3 fucking ACC championships and probably should have been in 2 natties if we had a goddamn kicker. Or if we had some serious situations. So, like, I mean, I seen Chris get hit in the back of the head with an orange in class. Like, I remember what the shit was like, when it was before you could, like, now they got online classes. Before we lost, we got to show up to class and got people checking. So, like, I remember how, as beautiful as the fan base is, I know how rabid the fan base is, and we couldn't hide. So you got to have thick skin to be in this situation.
Absolutely. And it's funny you bring that up because now Cats is looking, bro, that year in 03, bro, we was number 2 in the nation before we lost to Clemson. We was getting, and remember, we didn't lose again after that. So we would have played in the national.
I tell people all the time, Philip Kenwood, again, much like Jada Pinkett Smith, much like Cat Williams, like every few years or every few months, like, PK gonna go on a rant about Bobby Bowden and how he hurt him or some shit like that. But I told him, like, hey, I'm not saying I agree with my teammate on some of the stuff. But what I am saying is we were really fucking good and we lost it, and that was a Clemson upset. And had we beat Clemson, Tommy was probably getting fired. I will say that. But I don't think the old man threw the game, but I am saying he might have some smoke. But yeah, we played we only lost 2 games that year. I mean, 2 teams. We lost to Miami twice, and we lost to Clemson in that game. And both of them, Clemson was a debacle, but the Miami games were close.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, bro, is like, it's like you said, bro. We had Jeff, and Chris, bruh, he had a gun, and he was fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, if he, you know what I mean? And I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter what Daryl Dickey is teaching him. If when he goes out there, then this is what the call is, bro. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want? What do you want the guy to do? Now, Chris will tell you himself, there's things he could have done better. But of course, I could have. I'm talking about just his talent, and talent-wise. Bro, he was big, and he was legit fast though. Like,
yeah,
he was fast.
He was fast,
and he had a cannon. So my thing is, bro, if you put that guy in a scheme, you know what I'm saying, where he can really, you know what I'm saying, like, bro, if Chris has Mark Richt, bro, we're talking about a whole nother, and he still finished number 2 in passing, still. Yeah, because people, come on.
I tell people all the time, say, y'all give Chris a back. Chris the only real critique that people can have of Chris, outside of the shit that we call stupid, that compared to what happens now, that makes news. Like, I mean, handicap parking spot. okay, maybe he shouldn't get a ticket by the same officer coming and going. That's silly shit. That's not national news. And I try to tell them, if you really, if people would step back and listen to why he missed the final exam, I think he'd get, but he's never told the story of why he missed the final exam. And that's his story to tell,
bro. And he won't because, and it's to the degree that a lot of times I feel like even now, he's so incredibly humble that it irritates me. I'm being honest with you. Like I feel like bro, like you need to really remind people how good you were. Like you can't be number 2 all time at a school like that when you leave in passing. Win 3 ACC titles. He won 2.
He won 2.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, do you like know who you are? And I don't think he doesn't. I just think that he's just such a he's just such a nice guy. You know what I'm trying to say? And as you said, there's things that were made a big deal that really never were. But we talking about a supreme talent. You know what I mean? The dude was talented, man. But like you said, bro, it's like, well, look, all of us should have been in a better spot. I remember Jimbo when Jimbo came in and me and Chris was, warming up for pro day. No, it wasn't even pro day. It was actually, we was working out for New England the day after the pro day. And he was like, man, if I just had you guys for one more year, and me and Chris was like, Jimbo, don't even start that shit. We don't even want to hear it. Like, I don't even want to hear it. Like, don't start that shit right now. Like, we just trying to focus right now. Like, you know. And but bro, we had a lot of, and to go back to that game you said against Miami, your true freshman year. Bro, they showed it on ESPN Classic, and they showed how many guys ended up being on pro rosters. Not just drafted, just in general, from redshirt to senior that was on that field on both sides on both teams. It was like 60-something players, James. 60-something players. Like, come on, that don't even sound right, bro. Like,
but just think about common sense. Think about common sense. You up against Miami. G got 200.5. You know what I'm not doing? I'm not throwing the ball. Like, I'm sitting here like it's almost like I was like, hey, we need to be the little bad kid that get mad when people talk about you. Take our ball and go home. Just run the ball. They obviously can't stop this shit. And we want to throw the ball, and then all of a sudden, bad shit happens.
Yeah, bro. And then Nick Maddox, that game had another like 60-something in that game because he broke one for like 30-something. And for a touchdown. We was running the ball down their throat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just want people to realize how good the running back. Nick Maddox, Greg Jones, Willie Reed, Lorenzo, Leon, Deuce, Anton Smith.
Oh, bro. Like,
that's sick.
It was real.
And that's not so good that guys like Lamar Lewis, who was a 4-star, ended up transferring to Georgia Southern. Jamal Edwards? The one from Carolina.
Yeah, Jamal. What was his last name? He was from Greensboro.
Yeah, he was a 4-star. Yeah, Russ, but I don't know what happened with Russ at Texas, but Russ was just too petite to play in that backfield with us, man. Yeah. And again, just all that. Again, man, one of the things that Florida State has never had is never not had was talent. We've always been a talented thing, but I think one of the biggest things, the key takeaway from here is when we get back to where we are consistently, we're going to have a bunch of guys that want to come here because they are that guy. Yeah. And they need to prove and want to be around other guys. So,
for sure.
Shit, man. But listen, dog, I didn't realize it was damn near 2 hours, but I could sit here and catch up.
We ain't had a chance to chop it in a while, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Are you man? If you come back this way for either the spring game or camp, dog, just drop me a line, dog. I ain't got to be over here in Jacksonville. I'll be in Tallahassee.
I gotta bring his big ass back. Can't look.
Oh, this is the kid. This is him right here.
I gotta bring his big ass back, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you need to do some push-ups or something, man. Come on, dog. You ain't jacked enough. But nah, man, that's what's up, man. And I'll tell you the same thing I've told like Marvin Jones and I told a couple other guys, man. It's awesome to see one. Oh, so when I saw Leon at the Duke game, like right before we played Duke.
Oh, okay.
And I said, damn, I feel old as shit because Leon's son is going to college.
Yeah, he going to work with FAU.
Yeah, I think FAU. Yeah. I was like, damn, boy. I said, I remember when your ass was born. I said, I feel old as shit. But nah, man, that's a dope thing, man, to be able to have to be a father and to be able to have a son that's going to be able to go through the whole process and for you to be able to coach him up through all that too. So
yeah, man, it's crazy because like when they do stuff, as you know, as a dad, it's like it's 100 times better than when you did anything. But then at the same time, it's like it's 100 times more nerve-wracking too because you can't, you got to sit your ass on the sideline.
Yeah.
You can't be out there. You know what I mean? So
I'm just getting through the tackle part. So I'm cool. I think I'll tell you on the phone. Scariest thing for me was I said I know what I've done to other people's children. I can't get it done to me no more. And I had to ask my mom. I was like, Mom, what happened? What did you do if I was ever like I got helicoptered? She's like, well, you ain't never get that done, son. I was like, so I'm over here worried, and I'm like, well, damn, ain't nothing I can do about it. So all I can do is tell you to be more aggressive than everybody else. Go hit before they get you. Get them before they get you.
Yep.
So,
bro, I took his ass to the park, bro, before his first day hitting. He had his pads on. I said, look. You know what I'm saying? We're going to stay out here till I know you're going to be, you know what I mean? And so the next day he went up against the best player on the defense, first day, and they stalemated. He had never wore pads in his life. You know what I'm saying? And then the next year on the first day, dislocated the motherfucker's shoulder. So I was like, yeah, we got it. You know what I'm saying? We'll be all right. Because I mean, my thing was as a little guy was to take on half the man. But I'm like, all right, well, you a big dude, so I'm going to still teach you little dude shit. Because so if you take on half the man, you're going to kill him.
Oh, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
So I tell kids that all the time. I said, don't be no hero. Take half the man. Now, I said, when you get your shot, then you take your shot. But
yeah, he got 4 drag-offs this year. Well, 3 of them was as a blocker, like you said. So when you get to slam him, you slam his ass, Get him up out of there. Hey, here, out of there.
That's it, man.
Get him here, out of there.
Shoot, man. But anyways, man, appreciate you chopping it up with me, man. Taking the time. When you get back this way, dog, we'll definitely link up, man. Go have a beverage and fellowship a little bit, man.
Yes, sir. You know it, man. Appreciate you, JC.
All right, man. I'll holler at you, bro.
All right, brother.
Yeah. Man, could have had that. That could have been a 4-hour goddamn podcast right there, man. But I got to keep it up, man. But appreciate you guys for hanging out with me the entire time. Lorenzo Booker, former Seminole. If you guys enjoyed that, make sure you leave a comment or tell us more about what you would like to see, or if there are any other former Noles that you guys would like me to catch up with, chop it up with. We're gonna try to do this at least once or twice a month. During the off season, kind of bring you guys back into football season. A lot of good content again. Can't nobody give you an interview like that because nobody else got a chance to live that. So we're gonna give you real convos about guys who have lived and breathed and sweat and bled on that football field. So any guys that you guys want to have up next, please leave in the comment section or just tweet me, and we would definitely try to get that thing lined up. So see you guys next time. You ready, Mom?